If you listen to the marketing, Disney World and Universal Studios are both thriving. New lands, record-breaking attendance, blockbuster rides, billion-dollar expansions, and non-stop headlines about the future of theme parks. On paper, it looks like a golden age. But when you actually listen to the people walking through the gates in 2025, a very different story starts to emerge. One park feels like it's squeezing every dollar out of guests while delivering more stress than magic. The other feels like it has figured out how to make people spend money without making them miserable. That difference is quietly reshaping the entire theme park industry. For decades, Disney World owned this space. It wasn't just the most famous theme park in the world, it was the emotional center of family vacations. Disney wasn't selling rides, it was selling trust. You paid more, but you knew what you were getting. Smooth operations, friendly cast members, thoughtful details, a sense that everything had been designed to make you feel taken care of. That feeling is what people call the magic, and it used to be baked into every part of the experience. In 2025, that emotional contract feels cracked. Disney World is still beautiful, the castles still stand, the fireworks still explode over the park, but the way the company interacts with guests has changed. Prices are higher across the board, which alone wouldn't be a deal breaker if the experience still felt generous. What frustrates people is that the park has become layered with paywalls. Want to skip long lines? Pay extra. Want decent parade or fireworks viewing? Pay extra. Want to make sure you actually get on the rides you came for? Pay extra. Instead of being included, convenience has been monetized. That shift has changed how people feel when they walk through the gates. Instead of excitement, many arrive already anxious. They're worried about maximizing their day, missing reservations, and whether they paid enough to have a good experience. Disney vacations now feel like a high-stakes logistics puzzle. You're not just there to enjoy the park. You're there to manage your spending, your schedule, and your expectations in real time. Universal took a very different path. It also charges premium prices, but it focused on keeping the experience simple and emotionally rewarding. You buy a ticket, you show up, you ride things, you feel like you're inside a movie. Express passes exist, but they're straightforward and easy to understand. You don't need to spend half your day staring at your phone to get value out of the park. That alone changes how relaxed people feel. Technology shows this divide more clearly than anything else. Disney leaned hard into apps, reservations, virtual queues, and constantly shifting systems. In theory, this was supposed to make everything smoother. In practice, it made the park feel like an airport terminal. Families walk around staring at screens, refreshing ride, availability, juggling time slots, and trying not to waste the money they spent. What used to be a wandering adventure now feels like a digital scavenger hunt. Universal invested in technology too, but mostly behind the scenes. Ride operations, crowd flow, and park layout do the heavy lifting so guests don't have to. You're encouraged to look around, not look down. That difference changes how immersive the park feels. When you're not managing an app, you're free to notice the music, the scenery, and the small details that make a theme park feel alive. Atmosphere is another place where Universal is quietly pulling ahead. Disney parks still look great, but many longtime fans say they feel more crowded and less alive than they used to. Live entertainment has been cut back. Street performers are rarer. Parades and shows aren't as frequent or as elaborate. Cast members are stretched thin. The park runs efficiently, but it doesn't always feel joyful. Universal leaned into energy instead of efficiency. Areas like Hogsmeade, Diagon Alley, Super Nintendo World, and Jurassic World don't just look good, they overwhelm your senses in a way that feels intentional. Music, lighting, moving elements, and crowds all combine to create momentum. You feel like you're in the middle of something happening. That feeling is what keeps people excited to spend more time, more money, and more days in the park. crowds also play a huge role in how people experience both resorts. Disney has reached a point where demand is so high that the parks often feel physically uncomfortable. Walkways clog, lines stretch endlessly. Finding a place to sit becomes a challenge. Even people who love Disney admit that the crowds wear them down. Universal isn't empty, but its park layout and ride capacity handle crowds better. Guests spend more time moving and less time waiting, which makes the day feel fuller and more satisfying. The way each company treats its loyal fans also matters. Disney used to reward repeat visitors. Annual pass holders, longtime families, and hardcore fans felt like they were part of the Disney community. In recent years, that relationship has changed. Reservation systems, blackout dates, and perk reductions made loyal guests feel more like obstacles than partners. Universal went in the opposite direction. It built events, perks, and experiences around pass holders and frequent visitors. That loyalty creates stability. When casual tourism dips, the core audience still shows up. Brand strategy is another quiet advantage for Universal. Disney is rich in intellectual property, but its newest additions often feel like showcases rather than immersive worlds. They promote movies and shows, but don't always create places people want to linger. Universal focused on fewer, stronger brands and built them into environments. Harry Potter, Mario, Jurassic Park. These aren't just rides. They're worlds people want to live in for a few hours. Cost perception is where everything comes together. Disney has become famous for surprise charges and constant upsells. Genie Plus, Lightning Lane, premium seating, special events, dining packages. Guests feel nickel and dimed. Universal is expensive too, but more of the experience is included. You don't feel punished for not paying extra. That psychological difference is enormous. People will tolerate high prices if they feel respected. They won't tolerate feeling manipulated. Even employees reflect this divide. Disney cast members have spoken openly about burnout, understaffing, and declining morale. Universal employees generally report better staffing levels and more freedom to interact with guests. When workers feel supported, guests feel it too. Smiles become real. Small moments happen naturally. That's what people remember long after the rides are over. So who's really winning in 2025? On paper, Disney is still a giant. It still moves huge numbers of people and money, but emotionally, Universal has momentum. It's winning where it matters most, in how guests feel when they leave, in how often they come back, in how likely they are to tell friends that they had an amazing time. Disney hasn't collapsed, but it has drifted away from what made it special. Universal has leaned into what makes theme parks fun in the first place. That's why more families, more young travelers, and more first-time visitors are choosing Universal over Disney right now. The real battle isn't about which park has the biggest rides or the most famous characters. It's about which one still understands what a vacation is supposed to feel like. In 2025, Universal is making people feel excited. Disney is making them feel managed, and in the long run, excitement always wins.